Hey, what's going on? It's Vic Barry. How are you doing today? So, Hollywood film look, boom, boom, boom. You don't have to spend tens of thousands of dollars on an expensive Hollywood film cinema camera. Nope. You don't have to do that. Can you do it with your phone? Like this? Yeah. Stick around, I'm going to tell you how. Now, this isn't a color grading tutorial, by the way. This isn't like getting that orange and tea look, although that is part of the staple of the Hollywood film look. The one thing I'm talking about here is something that you have seen in countless big, gigantic Hollywood blockbuster movies. Think Star Wars, Star Trek, all of those big ones. I'm talking about lens flares. There's this particular type of lens flare, you might know it's the blue lens flare, that you can't really achieve without one particular piece of equipment. And this is anamorphic. Now, anamorphic comes in different sizes. Essentially, it's a 1.33 and a 1.55. Now, I'm like
going, I don't even know what this means.
It's an adapter that you can put onto a lens. It's an actual lens and it gives you a very white image. But part of this is you get the lens flares. You get those Hollywood lens flares even on a phone. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying, Vic, your phone don't have an anamorphic lens. But thanks to SmallRig, it does. Look at the lens flares here. This just looks like Hollywood, right? Full disclosure, SmallRig sent me this and free of charge, but they didn't tell me, say this, say that, say the other. So this is my own opinion on it. There's some really good things about this. And there's also one or two little gripes as well. In the box, open up the case. What do we get in the case, Vic? What do we get in the case? We get this. This is one of the great. You got to pick your lens, and this is the iPhone 13 Pro, so I would select the normal lens or the wide lens, not the telephoto or not the ultra wide. And you get on the adapter here and you kind of screw it on. And then you stick your lens, your anamorphic lens. Look at this. See, it's very, very different compared to what you might be used to seeing. And then that just kind of goes in like that. And you have a Hollywood camera in your pocket, or the Hollywood look anyway. Of course, we all need story and good sound effects and music and all that. Yeah, story. Now, you get this on, and this is the problem. You gotta really line this up correctly. The lineup here of the lens is such an absolute nightmare. But at the price, little, like a couple of minutes of persevering, get is on, and there you go, and you can just tighten in. I'm not a fan of tightening in too much because, Hulk strength, it might be just too much, but I haven't had any problems. Here's where things get really interesting. This is the handheld video kit for, it's a cage from SmallRig for your phone. They also sent me this, by the way. Again, didn't say anything, don't say this, don't say the other. Just let us know what you think. When you get this out, not only do you get the actual cage, which is like, this thing is so strong, but you also get a handle. Now, handle also, by the way, comes with ingenious here. Little Allen key, so you can screw this in and out and put it wherever you want, and then this screws in here. The magic really happens here once you get your phone into the case. It is a snug fit. This is the iPhone 13 Pro. That is in there. There is a little bit of a bevel there as well, but this gives your phone so much, it feels phenomenal. These dedicated mounts, they fit perfectly on the lens, so you're never going to be struggling trying to go, is it off a little bit? Is it this way? Is it that way? Really works well. Plus, you can also get the moment adapter. It's a plate as well that goes on, also from SmallRig. Just bounces in here and you can stick it on there. In this case, though, for this, absolutely no need. We're ready to rock. Getting the handle on is really simple. There's so many mounting points here. You can put this wherever, literally there's little cold shoes up here. Once you get this on, once you get your lens on, we've got anamorphic up the top there and the line, then we can shoot a couple of different ways. Now, this is going to look very, very weird. So this is how I'm shooting. This is just on the iPhone app. This is what I'm seeing right now. And if we look at the light, you can see all those cool flares, which of course is that cinematic flare that we're all after. Just got a flashlight here, so I'm just going to bring that there. You can see the flares, and all of these work just so well. It's Oh, so good. Anamorphic footage, whether it's 1.33 or 1.55, that's the squeeze essentially, so it makes it very wide. We get all those flares. It looks weird because the lens isn't de-squeezing, the software, the app, or whatever you're using isn't de-squeezing anything. So it's just essentially taking the footage like this and going... Weird sound effect, squeezing it up. So in Filmic Pro, there is an option. If we go to hardware, we can scroll down. Let's turn on our anamorphic adapter. And as we know, this one from SmallRig is a 1.55. De-squeeze and preview only. And then we're in the right track here. Now, here's the thing. I do not like to de-squeeze on the software on the phone. I prefer to do it in something like Premiere Pro, and it is really, really easy to do. Essentially, you're modifying, interpreting the footage and how Premiere Pro should actually see it. And in this case, it's the 1.5, or if it was a 1.33 anamorphic adapter, there you go. Now, some thoughts on all of this. Anamorphic is probably not for everybody, but if you want those flares, I mean, oh, it is so good, whether it's daytime, nighttime, you get some stunning footage out of this, especially if you're a mobile shooter. When it comes to the image quality, as you can see, this is just the standard iPhone, and now putting the anamorphic lens on from SmallRig, it is incredibly wide. However, this does come at a little bit of a cost because there is a kind of a sharpness in the center. The edges are a little bit distorted. In fact, they are quite distorted given how wide this lens actually works, and there is a lot of softness at the very edges. But again, that might tie into the look that you're going for. Some of you though might absolutely hate it. Now, the other side here as well with the lens is because it is so wide, the focal length here, essentially where you're able to focus, is not as sharp up close, so you have to be back a little bit further. One of the other quirks here that you really got to keep in mind though is you will need to use a gimbal of some form with your phone to get the most out of the SmallRig Anamorphic lens, simply because there's no stabilization in the lens, and the iPhone stabilization kind of freaks out. You can see when I'm walking here, it's wobbling all over the place. And here's the thing, put it on a gimbal, however, and it works phenomenally well. It is incredibly smooth regardless of whatever the situation that you're in. In this case here, it's on the Crane M2. Now, here's the thing, right? If the story sucks, or if there's no story and it's just random footage, like, oh, cinematic, man, woo, doesn't matter. Audience will go away and you will have wasted your money on this. But if you've got a story and if you want the cinematic look on a budget of your phone that you can bring anywhere, like this fits in any bag, pocket, dude, I don't know what to say. It's a no-brainer. I've left links in the description for anybody that wants to figure out a little bit more about this and maybe try it out for yourself, but I'm well impressed with this. Any mobile shooter should have this if you're serious about making cinematic style movies. Just don't forget the story.